Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you how I make my miniature food. Since I am currently living in France, I decided to make my favorite food from the French bakery. Here I have some of my most used tools. I will be bringing a video about my favorite polymer clay tools soon. I'll be using this shade for all of the miniatures in today's video. Let's start with the famous and delicious baguette. Roll a piece of clay and shape the corners into a round shape. You can see that the corners are gonna be a little more thinner than the middle. I like to work on my miniatures on top of this acrylic square. You can find it easily online. I'll be using this small dotting tool to make the details on the thread. There's plenty of different shapes on a baguette detail. I'm using this one that I found on Pinterest. You can make the details in any shape you want. It's easier if you search for pictures of it and try to follow the same shape. Here I am slightly drawing the shapes with the dotting tool. I'm making a type of leafy shape, the first one being smaller, the two in the middle being a little bit bigger than the first one, and then the last one being smaller again. I think you will understand better just by seeing the image. After marking the shapes, I'm going in with the dotting tool, applying more pressure. You will see this leftover clay inside of the shape that you're making, so just spread it out. I don't know if I'm explaining it good, but you can see in the video how I'm making it. Here, I'm adding a little bit more clay because I didn't like the way that it was. And if you make any mistakes, you can also do that or just start over again. Now is the time for the most important part when you want to make a realistic miniature, is the shading. Here I'm using the soft pastel from Faber-Castell, the mini version. I really like it because it's tiny and you have a bunch of colors. I will start shading with this yellowish color. The amount of color and the colors that you're gonna put in your miniatures, for example this baguette, it's gonna depend on how you want it. If you want your baguette to don't look too baked, use less of the dark color. If you want your baguette to look a little bit more baked, you will put more of the dark color. I wanted this one to look like milled baguette, not too much. So I mixed it, the yellowish color with the more dark color. It's a kind of brown and orangey color. And if you want it to look even more dark, you can also add a brown on top of it. Here are some other baguettes that I did before this one. One of it is a little more dark, and like I said, you can always put the color that you want it to be. Now we are making the amazing and famous croissant. This is like my favorite dish for the morning. I always eat this at breakfast. I know it's not so good for the body, but I really love it. Okay, so roll a tiny piece of clay and you make the edge round like I'm doing it here. And then you're gonna make it curve, like if you were gonna break it in half, but you won't. Make it like a banana shape. For cleaning my pieces, I'm always using rubbing alcohol. It's the best thing to use when you want to clean polymer clay. I already see people using baby wipes, the ones without scent. I never used it before, but maybe I'm gonna give it a go. So after I roll it, a piece of clay in a thin layer, I'm gonna cut it in a triangle shape. It doesn't need to be perfect, just to resemble a triangle shape. Here we are putting the first layer on our croissant. I'm gonna leave a picture on the screen just for us to remember how is it exactly in the details. I fold some aluminum foil to make the textures. You can also use a toothbrush, just adding some textures. To add the details, I'm using this sewing needle. You can also use a needle too, but I found that it was a little bit bigger, so I end up just using the sewing needle. So in this part of the video, I hope you can understand what I'm doing. To be honest, guys, it's pretty difficult to record and to do this at the same time, but I tried my best. I'm sorry if sometimes the camera doesn't focus, but basically you're just gonna want to make a line In the end of each layer, in the corners, you make a line, and then before the line, I don't know how to explain better, but between the line and the end, you do another one. Basically, you just be doing a bunch of thin lines in each end of the layers. For the shading, I'm just using the same colors that I use in the baguette. I'm putting a yellow shade. After that, I'll be putting a mixture of the orange and the yellow shades. If you want your croissant to look a little bit more cooked, you can also add some chocolate, some brown pastels. So in this one, I didn't add any brown pastels, but this other one that I did before, I add some brown, and you can see that you can have different shades of croissant, so you can do whatever you want. Okay, so now it's time to make some éclairs. I hope I am pronouncing it right. I don't think I am, but this is the most simple miniature to make. It's also a delicious food, and I really love it to eat this. Whenever I go to the bakery here, I'm always gonna buy one of these. So like you saw it, we're just basically gonna roll out a thin piece of clay, make the edges round, and we're just gonna add some texture on it. I'll be using this chocolate color, but the name is caramel, but it just looks like chocolate color for me. I'll be using this, and I'll be mixing with some liquid clay. The one that I use is from Cernit. This will be our toppings for the éclair. By the way, guys, this is my helper. He helps me every day, just putting hair all over my clay pieces. For the moment, I just had the silicone brush to mix it, but if you have like a spatula that people usually use for paint, it's gonna be easier, and you're just gonna mix the clay into the liquid clay. I'm also gonna be adding some soft pastel in a dark brown color, just to make the color more vibrant and to look the way that I want it to be. Before adding the toppings, I'm just gonna add some shading to the éclairs. For the vanilla topping, I just mixed liquid clay with white clay. I think the most satisfying part of sculpting clay is having to cut the block. Now I'm making the pain au chocolat. So the format of a pain au chocolat, it's that it has round edges, but at the same time it's kind of square. So this is what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay guys, so I hope you can understand what I'm doing here. Honestly, it was the most difficult part to film because yes, it's not so easy to film and do at the same time. So basically, I'm just doing like a caracol shape in the sides of the pain au chocolat. After you draw the caracol shapes, you're gonna draw again the lines in between the lines. I think you can understand better just by seeing it. I feel like this side that I did off camera looks better than the one that I showed on camera. Now I'm making little holes in both sides because later on we're gonna add our chocolate. I'm adding some black clay onto the brown clay because I want it to look more of a dark chocolate. I'm gonna be mixing this light color with the chocolate color just to make it lighter, I guess. Guys, tell me if this isn't the worst thing to happen. Honestly, I'm not gonna try to pronounce this dessert, but it tastes very good. And talking about the miniature, it's also very easy to make it. Yes guys, my French is not perfect yet. So you want to make sure that the light color it's gonna be a little bit thicker than the dark color. Here I'm pressing very gently just to make sure that they're gonna stick together. I'm using the other side of the blade just to mark where I want to cut, and then I'll cut it. Don't worry if your cuttings doesn't look perfect, you can always go back and cut the edges to try to make it look square. Here I'm going with my acrylic thing on top of it just to make it more square-like. I'm adding texture with my sewing needle and just making circle movements. It doesn't need to be too harsh. So when I was adding the texture, I noticed that I should have made the light color a little bit thicker, because when you add the texture to the darker shade, it tends to get a little bit thicker than it is. So remember that when you make yours, if you want to. In the lighter part, I'm just adding some lines just to add some texture and details. For the topping, I mixed liquid clay with white clay. So I recently found this on Temu and I found it very cute and practical to keep my liquid clay fillings and mixtures, so I don't have to be making all the time that I am sculpting something. It's a little bit hard to open, as you can see, but I really like it, and it was cheap. By the way, guys, I found that the mix was a little bit thicker at one point, so I just add more liquid clay until I got the texture that I wanted. So here I actually mixed the liquid clay with chalk pastel. I used dark chocolate, chalk pastel, and I didn't want it to use clay itself because I wanted to be a little bit thinner. At this part, make sure that you clean your needle too before doing this. So here, guys, I'm just showing you how I do to take out the pieces from the acrylic base. I don't like to put this on the oven because I'm pretty sure it's gonna burn. So I take it out and I put in baking paper. I don't know the name of this. Here's my baby. He just decided to sleep on top of everything. Okay, so I baked the pieces in around 15 minutes because it's very small. And now I'm gonna add gloss varnish. So if you want to transform these miniatures and charms, make sure to put the pins before you bake. And for me, I just wanted to make some magnets, so after I put the varnish, I added some magnets with glue, and I just put it in my kitchen, in my fridge. I'm gonna show you at the end. So here are the final products. Thank you for watching the video until here. If you liked, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to my channel to receive more videos like this, and I see you next time.